Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BB27 here, and welcome to another SML review. It feels like it's been a while since I made one. I don't really know how long it's been. I think it's only been a week or something since I did the last one, but this one's for Cody Goes to Kindergarten Part 6, which honestly should have been the finale to this series, in my opinion, and I'm going to talk about why I think that. But it hasn't been too long since Part 5, and Part 5 I thought was alright, but not as good as like Part 4 or 3, 2, some of the earlier ones. I thought Part 5 was still pretty good, but this one honestly might be the worst episode in the series, and I genuinely just didn't really like it as much as all the other ones. Like, as you guys know, and if you've been keeping up with the reviews, I do genuinely like this series, and I've given most of the episodes higher scores, but it's been declining ever since like Part 4. And I really just think they need to end this series by now. I'm really over it. Like, I do still like the environment. It's a funny environment, but it's getting kind of repetitive. They're not really doing enough new things to make it interesting, and that's why I just feel like they need to end it. But basically, the review of it is, kind of the whole plot. It's just more shenanigans again in the kindergarten class, and, Junior and Joseph are there with the Cody, and they're doing stuff. They're trying to take like another final exam. So if you guys remember in Part 5, they took a final exam, they failed it. But this time they're doing like the whole class takes the final exam or whatever. And I mean, pretty much all the kids keep failing it, and the teacher just wants them out of there. So she makes it easy for them and trying to get them to pass. The principal, Steinbach, he's in it, and he's really good in it. I would say he is one of the positives of this episode. But even then, it kind of gets annoying after a while. Basically, she ends up kind of passing most of them, but then Junior keeps failing it constantly over and over again, and then I think he eventually gets it, but the principal eventually catches on to this, and, I mean, this is the entire episode, by the way. Literally, the whole episode, right up to the very end, is they pretty much just, the teacher holds out a card, and then one of the, kids, whether it's Cody, Joseph, or, whatever, Mikey, they come up there, try to guess the word on the card, and then she just makes it super easy for them so they can pass. So that's the entire episode. This episode, unlike some of the other ones, doesn't really have as much happening in it. It's just mainly one core thing throughout the whole episode, which it would have been fine if this was the finale, but this is not the last episode. I wish it was, but it's not. The whole episode is just pretty much the same thing. They don't really do a whole lot. I don't know. It's just stupid, but anyways, yeah, to finish it off, Principal Steinbach eventually gets, suspicious of, oh, they're all passing. So he asks his son, Daryl, which is, the bear kid. He's like, bear, bear, bear. He asks him if they're all cheating, and this part's really good. I would say this is the highlight of the episode. The bear kid finally speaks. It's like, oh, yeah, they're all cheating, motherfuckers. That shit had me laughing my ass off. The whole series, he never talks. He's just, weird. He's, they call him, the autistic kid. He's just keeps hitting the bear sound over and over again, but then he finally speaks, and his voice is hilarious, and what he says is great. And then the principal, freaks out and says, oh, they're all going to summer school or whatever. And then it ends with the SML question asking, oh, how many more episodes do you want us to do in the summer? It's like, dude, I don't want you guys to keep going on with this. This should have been it. It's just not creative enough anymore. They're not doing enough with it anymore. Maybe if they start doing stuff with it in the summer school, series of this, maybe it could be interesting, but it just feels like it's so just dragged on, you know what I mean? It's just not as much happening anymore. This episode right here just shines light on that. It's just so repetitive. It's so repetitive, and unfortunately, I just don't really care for any of the characters anymore they introduced in here. I just don't really care about the shenanigans. It's just kind of, I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm over it. So my score of it, I'm going to give it maybe a 5 out of 10. It wasn't an awful episode. I'm not trying to shit all over it and say, oh, it's one of the worst episodes of the year. No, there's definitely been a lot worse, but it's just weak. It's a very weak part of the series, and it's kind of unfortunate that it led to this. But yeah, Logan, it doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. He's making it seem like, oh, let's keep dragging it out through the summer. No, Don't do that. And if you're gonna do another one, make it the final one and make it actually interesting. Like, don't make it just the same kind of thing going on over and over and over again in the episode. Like, at least with the other episodes in the series, like, there was more happening, you know? Cody was, like, getting into fights, there was stuff with his parents, there's different things that the teacher was doing, there's her whole cheating thing going on, or whatever, her ex-boyfriend. You know, there's stuff with the principal, too, that was funnier. Like, this episode is just the weakest because it's just the same stupid thing over and over and over again, and then it's not even the finale. They want you to think it's the last one, but it's not, and that's bullshit. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm tired of the series. Please end it, Logan. You could do better than this, honestly. It's falling off. It was really good and strong in the beginning, but now it's falling off. So, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think about it, and that's about it. See ya, and stay lit. Take care.